Hi, everyone. Welcome to Storage Cost Optimization. I'm Mary Quinn, Senior Go-to-Market Specialist for Amazon S3.
Hi, everybody. I'm back. Christian Smith, Head of Worldwide Storage Go-to-Market for our File Services. So let's talk about AWS gaining an economic advantage, or helping you gain an economic advantage. AWS really makes sense for virtually any organization looking to reduce overall IT costs and maximize the benefit of their cloud investments. You know, even in these inflationary times, these cost savings can be significant. You know, the 2022 S&P Market Intelligence study showed that unit costs for public cloud infrastructure have stayed low, even in this macroeconomic inflation has reached historic highs. But this is more than just a story of cost cutting. You know, cost optimization is not just about spending less. It is, in fact, about spending smarter, looking at how money saved can be harnessed to fuel business growth. And AWS makes it easy for customers to manage and optimize their cloud costs, scale service as business needs change, and then especially innovate to improve efficiency, agility, and time to market. You know, AWS helps you right-size your IT spend and take advantage of resources from storage and compute to advanced analytics, AI, ML, that can accelerate your business growth and provide you with a competitive advantage. And AWS works with you to ensure your cloud journey is transparent, secure, and tailored to your requirements. You know, there are really 4 key ways that AWS helps you gain an economic and operational advantage in the cloud. First, AWS makes it easier for you to lower and right-size your IT infrastructure spend. You gain flexibility in scaling resources up and down, and you pay only for what you use and use only what you need. Second, AWS offers you the broadest and deepest set of services to help you create operational efficiencies and become more agile in delivering new products faster with fewer resources. Third, AWS continuously innovates across every solution area to improve performance while maximizing your savings. And finally, AWS provides you with the management tools that help you monitor and easily optimize your cloud costs, some of which we'll talk to you today about a little bit later. You know, at an umbrella view, let's ground on the mechanisms we have built around our storage portfolio, specifically block, object, and file, and how you can optimize your data to scale into new initiatives by focusing on common practices that we've really developed over the past 17 years. While this conversation today will be focused on common practices and optimizing your data while it's in AWS, we realize you're looking for third-party validation for onboarding your on-premises workloads to AWS storage solutions. This is where I'm happy to say that earlier this year, analyst firm Enterprise Strategy Group conducted an economic validation study on migrating infrastructure from on-premises data centers to AWS. You know, in this study, ESG validated that customers can lower their 3-year TCO of storage by up to 69% by migrating from on-premises to AWS storage. You know, you can scan the barcode in the lower right-hand corner to download the full report and learn more about how you can maximize economic advantages by migrating to AWS cloud infrastructure. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mary, to talk about S3.
Thank you, Christian. You know, one of the amazing things about S3 is that there's a storage class for every workload. This helps you tailor your costs so you meet all your requirements for things like retrieval performance, access frequency, and duration. But you don't pay any extra for characteristics that you don't need. The key to cost optimizing S3 is to choose the right storage class. And S3 intelligent tiering is almost always the right choice. That's because it automatically moves data from warmer storage classes to colder, less expensive storage classes based on how frequently data is accessed. So if you want to set it and forget it, and be confident that S3 is keeping you cost optimized, intelligent tiering is likely the right class for you. I also want to call out Glacier Instant Retrieval, which we launched in late 2021. It's designed for rarely accessed data that still needs millisecond retrieval performance. It's perfect for use cases like image hosting, online file sharing, and medical imaging. Customers love it because it offers them that millisecond retrieval, but at an archive storage cost. I'm happy to share that since the launch of intelligent tiering in November 2018, so just over 4 years ago, customers have saved more than $1 billion by using it. And that savings continues to accumulate because we continue to see really rapid growth in this storage class. To provide our customers a secure place to store their colder data, so that's data that's not accessed frequently, S3 offers 3 purpose-built archive storage classes where you can store data in a really economical manner. I talked about Glacier Instant Retrieval with millisecond retrieval performance. Glacier Flexible Retrieval offers retrieval performance options that range from minutes to hours. It's ideal for archive data that doesn't require immediate access, and you can retrieve very large data sets at no cost. Backup or disaster recovery use cases are really perfect here. Glacier Deep Archive, which offers the lowest cost storage at $1 per terabyte per month, is designed for customers, particularly those in financial services, healthcare, public sector, that need to retain data sets for 7 to 10 years, maybe longer, to meet customer needs and regulatory compliance requirements. And I've included intelligent tiering here again because it will transition data to 2 different archive tiers, Archive Instant Access and Deep Archive Access. You opt into these tiers, but they help you minimize your costs by automatically archiving objects, again, based on that last access date. If you're not using intelligent tiering, how do you take advantage of all these storage classes so your data is sitting in the right storage class at the right time? The answer is to use S3 lifecycle policies. Lifecycle policies allow customers to dictate how data moves through the different S3 storage classes based on age as opposed to access date. The chart you're looking at shows the storage class transitions that lifecycle policies make possible. You go down the waterfall from hotter, more expensive classes to colder, less expensive classes. You decide when objects transition and where they transition to. You can also use lifecycle policies to expire objects after some defined period of time. When you expire an object, you delete it. It's a great way to make sure that you're not paying to store data that no longer has value for your business. This is a great story. Illumina is a terrific customer of ours. Their innovative sequencing and array technologies are fueling groundbreaking advancements in life science research, genomics, and molecular diagnostics. You might be able to imagine how much data they generate and store. But after only 3 months of using S3 intelligent tiering and lifecycle policies, they were able to quantify an 89% reduction in carbon emissions and a 60% reduction in storage costs. Really dramatic results. Before I wrap on S3, I have to mention S3 Storage Lens. Storage Lens is an analysis service that provides organization-wide visibility into S3 usage and activity. Storage Lens provides more than 60 metrics with multiple interactive tools that help you identify improvement opportunities across cost optimization, but also data protection, access control, performance, and more. I have a colleague that always says, you can't change what you don't measure. And in the context of S3 cost optimization, Storage Lens is the recommended tool for continuously monitoring your S3 footprint and auditing the impact of the optimization actions that you take over time. And the best part is that all S3 customers have access to a free Storage Lens interactive dashboard in their S3 console, containing pre-configured views so you can visualize your storage usage.
Thanks, Mary. That's pretty impressive, $1 billion that customers have saved just by deploying S3 intelligent tiering. Yeah. That is amazing. So let's talk about our file services here. So specifically around FSX and EFS. Sorry, there we go. So today, AWS has created 2 cloud-native file systems with Amazon EFS focused on cloud-native workloads and Amazon File Cache for burst-to-cloud capabilities to leverage AWS compute. We also provide 4 of the most popular file system technologies: Windows File Server, NetApp ONTAP, OpenZFS, and Lustre, so that storage and application admins can use what they're familiar with. They essentially get the full capabilities and even the management CLIs that they're used to, and that they've built workflows and applications around on premises, but with the benefits of a fully managed elastic cloud service that can be spun up or down, scaled on demand, and deployed globally. These file systems cover a broad range of applications and use cases tailored to your business, through providing throughput, low latency, scale, and simplicity to provide customers with a compelling TCO for virtually every file-based applications and use case. Today, we will talk about the common practices for getting the best TCO for your application. If you want to learn about use case alignment to file systems, they've been covered in the earlier EFS session, and they'll be covered in subsequent FSX sessions also. And of course, they are always available on our website. So at AWS, our file systems have a rich set of TCO-based capabilities that include things like data deduplication, data compression, and transparent file data tiering for data that is accessed less frequently. When deploying file-based solutions, many of our file services for FSX have compression and/or dedupe capabilities for the data. Deployed, these capabilities can reduce the footprint of data by 25 to 50%, depending on use case. For an example, in an environment where customers are deploying home directories, the redundant data on FSX for Windows or FSX for ONTAP compresses or dedupes by 50% or greater, realizing a cost savings of 50 to 60%. And as data ages, storing this data on SSD storage can be expensive, yet removing that data from the file system will break applications or frustrate end users when they attempt to use their data. Both EFS and FSX ONTAP have high performance tiers for active data and lower performance, lower cost tiers for data that is infrequently accessed. These tiering capabilities preserve access to data in the file system, yet dramatically lower the blended cost of storing that data over time. With FSX for ONTAP, these two tiers are an SSD tier and a capacity pool. With Amazon EFS, we have a standard or one zone tier and an infrequently accessed tier for the data. Each uses either an access-based tiering to move data in one direction or have settings to promote data back to hot tiers if data becomes viral again. Lastly, the best cost optimization is moving your self-managed file systems to one of our fully managed file systems. Customers reported an operational cost savings, allowing their applications to scale and applications and organizations to scale onto higher value customer-centric based tasks. Removing the burden of just daily maintenance of your file system infrastructure and allowing you to focus on your differentiated activities to scale the organization. Examples of customers who have achieved these savings by leveraging the built-in cost optimization capabilities. Let's first talk about Epic, a global legal services company was tasked with reducing storage costs in their e-discovery platform, which relied on shared storage. By deploying Amazon FSX for Windows, they were able to drive better storage utilization and reduce their cost by 30%. IESA needed a cloud file storage solution that would enable their global teams to collaborate and share project data securely, built on optimizations by performance and cost. By deploying FSX for NetApp ONTAP, they were able to reduce storage costs by 50% and increase productivity by 30% by deploying their file-to-cloud architecture across 17 sites globally. Johnson & Johnson, which we also talked about earlier today in our EFS session, was able to save 37% of their genomics workloads by deploying lifecycle management and leveraging one-zone storage classes for their scientific data. And lastly, Rev, who was processing terabytes of audio data using a powerful GPU cluster to train speech recognition models, moved from a self-managed file system on FSXZ where they saved costs by 30% and eliminated the manual work of managing their file services. Thank you. I will now turn it back over to Mary for EBS.
Thank you, thank you. So, Amazon Elastic Block Store, you've heard a little bit about that today. It's an easy-to-use, high-performance block storage service for use with Amazon EC2. EBS volumes attached to your EC2 instances, which mean that they persist independently from the life of your instance. So if an instance happens to go down, your volume remains. It's designed so you can optimize cost and storage performance based on your specific needs. There isn't just a single volume type. Instead, there's a variety of volume types to choose from. EBS volumes are archived for high availability and mission-critical applications. Common enterprise-scale relational databases like SQL Server, Oracle, and SAP are widely deployed on EBS, as well as common open-source relational and NoSQL databases like MySQL, Cassandra, or MongoDB. Customers generally start with GP2 volumes, which are a balanced SSD-based volume type that increases in performance as they increase in size. When you want to scale performance and throughput independent of storage capacity, you can seamlessly migrate to GP3 volumes, which are a newer generation of general-purpose volumes, but at a 20% lower price. For example, if you have a 1 terabyte GP3 volume configured at 16,000 IOPS, it would cost you $65. That same configuration on GP2 would cost you $513, and that's because you'd have to over-provision the storage to get that same performance. EBS elastic volumes give you the flexibility to change volume type, storage, and performance at any time, independently without downtime, and it's free. This helps you optimize costs so you don't have to worry about over-provisioning. Use lower price volumes for less demanding workloads, and when demand picks up, use elastic volumes to move to higher capability volume types. EBS snapshots are point-in-time copies of your data that are stored in managed Amazon S3 buckets. They can be used to instantiate multiple new volumes, expand the size of a volume, or move volumes across availability zones. There's 2 tiers for moving EBS snapshots, the standard tier and the archive tier. This slide lists the differences between these 2 tiers, but the main takeaway is that in the standard tier, you have incremental backups, and in the archive tier, you have full backups, and the restore times are longer. The archive tier provides up to a 75% cost savings, but it's designed for long-term, infrequently accessed backups because there's a 90-day minimum retention period, there's that longer restore time that I mentioned, and there's a charge associated with the restore. With Amazon Data Lifecycle Manager, or DLM, you can manage the lifecycle of the AWS resources like snapshots and machine images. You create lifecycle policies, which are then used to automate operations on these resources. We have one customer that was able to achieve a 65% cost savings just by using DLM to manage their EBS snapshots. We've gone through a lot of information here in a really short amount of time. To learn more about how you can use AWS Storage to gain economic and operational advantages, scan the QR code. And in this ebook, we outline the value AWS Storage can bring to your organization. It covers what you should know about storage cost optimization, and it provides best practices on how you can get the most value from your cloud storage spend. Thanks for your time today. Up next, we have a session on how Amazon FSx provides customers with an easy path to move legacy NAS from on-premise to AWS to improve agility and gain virtually unlimited scale while still reducing TCO.